Hi, and welcome back to Fresh BCSC Tech. In this short video, I'm going to show you how you can make your files and your lesson resources more accessible by adding and inserting audio recordings. So you have a couple of options on how you can do this. There's the ability to insert an audio recording or an audio file in Google Slides now. That's a fairly new feature, probably about a year or so is when that came out in the fall. Other people could test that a little bit in advance, but it's a great one to give your students another option for written information, visual information, and really a great way to provide feedback to students too, and have your own voice, make it a little bit more personalized and really showing your connection to the students. Students also have the ability to use this tool too, so they can use this to add voice notes and add audio recordings into their presentations and materials they send to you, and even have a dialogue with you if they're learning remotely and you're teaching in the classroom or at home. So the cool thing with this is that it's really easy to insert. The only downside about this feature in Google Slides, and it's only in Google Slides for right now, you can't do this in Docs yet, but you can't actually record the audio file within Google Slides itself. You have to use a third-party website. There are some free ones out there though, and that's what I'm going to show you. So there's two that I usually like to use, partly because they are free, number one, and number two, they don't require you to use an account. So a lot of websites and tools, if they require students to make an account, we don't let our younger students do that. And these websites are ones that are designed for teachers and designed for students to use without having to worry about a login or an email or giving away any of your information. So this first one is called Vocaroo. And what you'll do is you'll have to record first. So I'll click my little microphone and I'll give my message. You have to at least talk for 10 seconds. Sometimes you can talk for a little bit longer than that if you want. I don't think there's actually a limit on this one in particular on how long you have to talk to record. If you want to pause your recording, if you lost your train of thought, like I almost just stood there for a second, you can do that and then resume. Whenever you're finished, you'll click stop. And then from here, you can listen to it over again if you click the play button, or you can reset, it deletes this recording and you just restart. If I'm happy with the way this is, I'll do save and share. And then from there, I have a couple options here. So I can just copy this link. And if I want to give my students a link to my audio recording, that's one way I can do this. But if I actually want to be able to insert this into my presentation, I'm going to click download. All right, and if you see here on the bottom of my screen, it's downloading that MP3 file. The other option for a recording tool is this one, onlinevoicerecorder.com. And you just click the record button. It's really the same process. You get either a link that you can share with students and embed code, or you can download it. You'd want to download your MP3 file that you recorded. My only thing with this one is that there's usually a lot of ads on this website. And even if you have an ad blocker, they still show up. So I tend to lean towards Vocaroo, especially if you're giving your students this option, because it's not as distracting with all the ads and things popping up. So after I have done that, my next step is I'll go to my Google Slides presentation. So I'll click Insert, and in the Insert menu is where you have the audio option. So I'll click Audio. And you have some choices here. So you can look up in your Google Drive if you've already shared something there and find it. If it's something shared with you, shared with me, that's actually the first thing you need to do is actually upload your file into Google Drive. So if I go to a new tab here and go to Google Drive, the fastest way to do this is if you keep that downloaded MP3 file that we just had on your computer across the bottom there. If I just click and drag, my computer's been really slow, so let's hope that it does this. All right, it's waiting for it to cache. I click and drag. There we go. It adds this file into my Google Drive. And it's uploading there on the other side of this video. When it's finished, it notifies me and lets me know. So now what I can do is back in my Google Slides presentation, I can look for that. And there it is. And I'll select it. And it creates the audio recording. And there's my recording. So there's some additional settings that are fairly new now in a Google G Suite product update, and you can decide how you want this to play. So it's an icon, you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you need to do. You can move it around the page if you want. It's probably helpful if you put it near your words, and then your students can either click it to listen to it, or you can even set that threshold here. You can have it to where they click on it, it plays, or automatically, as soon as you get to this presentation, it starts to do that. You can even have it looping so it keeps playing. So this is a really awesome feature for you to add your own instructions or record yourself talking. Maybe if you're absent that day so your students can still hear you, and your students also have these options as well. It's just a great way to make your videos, and not your videos, your presentations more accessible. The other option here for inserting audio, you can actually insert audio into Google Docs if you use the Read&Write for Google Chrome extension. So what I'm going to do is open up a Google Doc here in my Drive. And it's a sample assignment. So I will say while this is loading that if you are using this feature in Google Suites, you have to have the Chrome extension first. You have to download that from the Chrome Web Store. An extension is basically an application that runs within your Chrome browser. If you've already added that, then it should come across the top here, and it's a little purple puzzle piece. The only thing with this specific one I'm talking about, the voice notes feature in Read&Write for Google, is that it's only available in the premium version. And at this point in time, teachers have full access to the premium version. With students, it comes with a fee. So maybe if your district is thinking about purchasing this, it's going to be a leveraging point for you. If you're in my school district, BCSC, we have this for all of our staff and all of our students. So it's actually one that you can use and your students can use too. And what it does is it allows you to insert audio files and comments, voice notes, right into a document so your students can listen to you and get your feedback. And that's kind of the idea behind it, is it's a way to provide a feedback option that's different than just text. It's audio feedback. And with this one, you can record all within that tool. So what I would do is I'd open up my document here and I'd find wherever I wanted to add my voice note. And I would click the Read&Write for Google toolbar and it comes up. And it is this second to last one here. And this feature is only available in Docs right now. That's the only place you can use this specific Read&Write option. A little record button comes up. You have to give it permission and it starts going and I'm talking, and you can record up to a minute at a time. And if you need to pause and stop, if you click stop, that stops your recording and then you can resume it or be finished if you want. You can record multiple voice notes like this in your document too, in case you know that a minute is not enough time for you to say everything you need to say. So click stop. You can listen back to it there, or you can keep recording. Whenever I'm finished, I'll click insert. And then what this does is it inserts it on the right-hand side here with those other comments, and it shows up as an audio icon. So the first time you do this, it does take it a second to load, and it might look a little funny at first. This is what that is. But after I've added that in, it shows up as a play button. And then all my students have to do is just click this play button and they can listen to my feedback. And what's nice is because it adds it as a comment, your students can reply to this comment with text, or they can even add their own audio recording if they have that feature available to them. So those are just some of the examples of how you can add and insert audio recordings into slides and docs to give your students another option for perception